Part 16, Vocaloid and the Age of Virtual Voices. The city is quiet again. Late at night, small lights glow. Inside, countless rooms. Some come from desk lamps, others from computer screens, softly illuminating the darkness. In these quiet spaces, something new begins to take shape. A melody written on a keyboard, a rhythm arranged on a screen, and sometimes a voice that does not belong to any human singer. By the early years of the 21st century, Japan's musical landscape had already been transformed many times, from ancient ritual chants performed in forest shrines to court music echoing through imperial halls, from theater stages to bustling city streets, from vinyl records to compact discs, and finally to digital files shared through the internet. Yet, even within this rapidly changing world, another unexpected chapter was about to begin. This new chapter did not begin in a recording studio or on a concert stage. Instead, it began inside computers. In 2007, a new musical tool appeared in Japan. It was called Vocaloid. At first glance, Vocaloid was simply a type of software, but its purpose was unusual. Rather than recording a human singer, the program allowed users to create a voice digitally by typing lyrics and arranging melodies. A synthetic voice could sing the song. The result was neither entirely human nor entirely mechanical. It was something strangely new. At the same time, a character appeared alongside this technology. Her name was Hatsune Miku. With turquoise hair and a futuristic design, she became the visual symbol of this new musical world. But the most important change was not the character herself. It was the idea behind the technology. For the first time, anyone with a computer could create a singing voice. Music production, which once required professional studios and trained vocalists, suddenly became accessible to individuals working alone in quiet rooms. Some creators were students, others were hobbyists. Many had never released music before. Yet, with simple software and a personal computer, they began composing songs late at night. Melodies were shared. Through online platforms, listeners discovered new tracks. Through digital communities, one website in particular became closely connected to this emerging culture. Nico Duga, this Japanese video platform, allowed creators to upload music videos and animations viewers could watch and listen together, while comments flowed across the screen. The experience felt communal, even though each listener sat alone in front of a computer. Through this space, Vocaloid music spread quickly. Some songs became enormously popular. They were remixed, reinterpreted, and performed again by other creators. In this way, music became a shared collaboration, not limited to one composer or one performer. A melody written by one person could inspire another artist to create an entirely new version. Visual artists added illustrations, animators created music videos, producers remixed the sound. Gradually, a vast creative network formed. Thousands of individuals contributing to the same evolving musical culture. For many listeners, this world felt different from traditional pop music. Instead of distant celebrities, the creators felt approachable. They were people working quietly in ordinary rooms. Their songs often reflected personal emotions, late-night thoughts, quiet loneliness, small moments of happiness. The music itself also explored many different styles: electronic dance rhythms, soft piano melodies, rock guitars, ambient soundscapes. Each creator experimented freely without the expectations of large record companies. Yet, even within these digital sounds, something familiar remained. The emotional restraint often found in earlier Japanese music. Melodies that moved gently, lyrics that suggested rather than declared, moments of silence between phrases. In this way, even a synthetic voice could carry a surprisingly human feeling. Over time, some Vocaloid songs reached enormous audiences, concert halls filled with listeners, but the singer on stage was not a human performer. Instead, a digital character appeared as light projected into space. Hatsune Miku performed as a holographic figure while live musicians played instruments beside her. For audiences, this experience felt both familiar and futuristic, a concert where the voice came from software, yet the emotional response remained deeply real. By this time, Japanese music had traveled far from its ancient beginnings, from sacred ritual to digital creation, from temple courtyards to computer screens, and yet the essence of music remained unchanged, a desire to share feeling through sound, a quiet connection between listener and melody. Imagine once more a late evening in a small apartment. Outside, the city moves slowly through the night. Inside, a computer screen glows in the darkness. On the screen, a simple program displays musical notes, a few keystrokes, a short melody, and suddenly a voice begins to sing. Not a voice recorded in a studio, but a voice generated by lines of code. In that moment, technology and creativity become inseparable. The boundaries between artist and audience begin to blur, and somewhere in the quiet space between human imagination and digital sound, a new chapter of Japanese music continues to unfold. Part 17: Independent Artists and the New Sound of Japan. The night grows deeper across the city. Most windows have gone dark. Only a few lights remain, glowing quietly above silent streets. In small rooms, soft music continues. A computer hums gently. Headphones rest beside a keyboard, and somewhere a new melody begins to form. By the early years of the 21st century, Japanese music had entered a new era. Technology had already transformed how songs were recorded, shared, and discovered. The internet had opened pathways that connected listeners across great distances, and digital tools allowed almost anyone to create music from their own home. Yet another quiet shift was beginning. This change did not come from large studios or major record labels. Instead, it came from individual creators, independent artists, musicians, working alone, late at night, experimenting with sound, in small personal spaces, in earlier decades, becoming a musician often required a connection to the music industry. Record companies selected performers, producers guided their sound. Albums were distributed through stores and broadcast media. But the digital world slowly changed. This structure, recording equipment, became smaller. Software became easier to use, and online platforms gave artists a place to share their work. For many musicians, this meant something entirely new. They could create music without waiting for permission. A song written in a bedroom could be uploaded to the internet within minutes. Listeners on the other side of the world might discover it the very same night. Websites such as SoundCloud, YouTube, and other platforms became gathering places for these independent creators. Each artist experimented with their own style. Some recorded gentle piano pieces. Others layered electronic beats with quiet vocals. Some blended traditional instruments with modern production, a shakuhachi melody floating through, digital reverberation, a koto phrase woven into soft electronic rhythms. These sounds did not always follow the expectations of commercial music. Instead, they reflected personal expression, late-night creativity, private emotion, a quiet search for new musical language. Listeners responded to this authenticity. The internet allowed people to explore music in a new way. Instead of hearing only the artists promoted by large labels, they could discover thousands of smaller voices, hidden songs, shared quietly between communities, music created, not for fame, but simply for the joy of creation. Some artists recorded their work entirely alone. Others collaborated across great distances. A composer in Tokyo might share files with a vocalist in another country. Together, they built songs through digital communication. The idea of a musical scene also began to change. Instead of gathering in one physical place, communities formed online, forums, comment sections, and collaborative projects connected creators who had never met face to face. Yet, despite this new technology, many qualities of Japanese music remained familiar. The sense of quiet atmosphere, the careful pacing of melody, the subtle emotional tone that allowed music to feel reflective rather than overwhelming. Even within electronic sound and modern production, these older instincts still appeared. For some artists, the goal was not to fill stadiums or dominate the charts. Instead, they created music for smaller audiences, listeners seeking calm soundscapes, gentle melodies, or thoughtful compositions. In this way, independent music often felt closer to the listener. A song might accompany a quiet evening walk, a long train ride through the city, or the stillness of a late-night room. Imagine once more a small apartment overlooking the city. Outside, distant lights shimmer across the horizon. Inside, a musician sits before a computer screen. On the desk, a MIDI keyboard, a pair of headphones, and a simple microphone. The room is silent except for the soft tapping of keys. A melody grows slowly. Layer by layer, the sound expands. There is no audience in the room, no stage, no applause, only the quiet act of creation. Yet, somewhere, far beyond the walls of that small space, a listener will eventually hear the music through cables, servers, and invisible networks. The sound will travel across the world, and in that moment, two strangers will share the same melody across distance, across time, across the quiet spaces between cities. Japanese music, once shaped by courts, temples, and grand concert halls, now continues its journey through countless individual voices, each one small, each one unique, yet together forming a vast and evolving musical landscape. And as the night grows still, those quiet sounds continue to echo through the digital world, carried gently from one room to another, from one listener to the next, like distant lights glowing softly across the sleeping city. Part 18. The Endless Journey of Japanese Music. The night is quiet. Across the city, most lights have already faded. Only a few windows still glow softly against the dark sky. Somewhere in those quiet rooms, music continues. A gentle melody drifts through the air, barely louder than the hum of the night. For centuries, Japanese music has followed a long and winding path. It began in forests and sacred spaces where ritual sounds echoed through trees and ancient shrines. Voices rose toward the sky in ceremonies meant to connect humans with the unseen world. Later, music moved into imperial courts, elegant instruments, and carefully composed melodies filled vast halls with slow and deliberate sound. Each note placed with care, each silence as meaningful as the sound itself. Over time, music traveled beyond palace walls. It entered the streets, the theaters, and the everyday life of ordinary people. Traveling performers carried songs between towns. Theaters brought stories to life through music and movement. Instruments like the shamisen became familiar voices in cities filled with lantern light. Centuries passed, new ideas arrived: Western harmony, military bands, school songs, and orchestras slowly blended with older traditions. Japanese composers began shaping a modern musical language, one that balanced structure and subtlety, emotion and restraint. Then came radio, records, television. The sound of Japan began traveling farther than ever before. Songs filled urban nights. Film music echoed through theaters. City pop melodies floated through neon streets and late-night highways. Japanese music was no longer confined to a single place. It was becoming part of a global conversation. In the digital age, another transformation quietly unfolded. The internet allowed music to move freely across borders. A song written in a small room could reach listeners on the other side of the world. New technologies appeared: synthetic voices, virtual performers, independent artists creating music late at night with nothing more than a computer and a quiet space. The tools changed, the platforms changed, but something deeper remained the same: the desire to express feeling through sound, to share a moment of emotion with someone who might be far away. Music has always been a bridge between people, between places, between moments in time. A melody written hundreds of years ago can still be heard today. A song created tonight may travel into the future, and somewhere, someone will listen. Imagine once more a quiet evening in Japan. Outside, the city rests beneath a calm sky. Lights stretch across distant buildings. A train moves slowly through the darkness. Inside a small room, a desk lamp glows. On the desk lie many objects: old sheet music, gently worn by time, a cassette tape from decades past, a compact disc, a MIDI keyboard, and a laptop screen displaying digital notes. Each object belongs to a different era, yet all of them tell the same story: the long journey of music from sacred ritual to digital creation, from temple courtyards to glowing computer screens. Japanese music has never stood still. It continues to change, to adapt, to grow. New artists are already composing the sounds of tomorrow. New technologies will reshape how music is created and shared. But the heart of music remains simple: a melody, a rhythm, a quiet expression of human feeling. And perhaps somewhere right now, in a quiet room similar to this one, a musician is beginning to write a new song, a melody no one has heard before, a sound that may one day become part of this long story, the story of Japanese music For now, the night grows deeper. The city grows still, and somewhere in the quiet darkness, a soft melody begins to play. A small sound in a vast world, carrying forward the endless journey of music